after a day off, the sun's out once again here in Chicago, and the Sox are back at Guaranteed Rate Field, this time to take on the first-place team in the AL Central, the Cleveland Indians, for the first of three. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. Chuck Garfien is downstairs. And Carlos Rodon, when he first came up to the big leagues, he was the third lefty in the Sox rotation, but now he's showing that he has front-of-the-line stuff.
Against Tampa Bay, he was absolutely brilliant. He went 6 innings, didn't give up any runs, gave up only 3 hits, and was in command from start to finish. Unfortunately, got no decision in that one. And the ball club played a good, solid game, but the bullpen gave it up late. But Carlos is throwing like a top-of-the-rotation guy. That slider has been brilliant. Last 5 starts, he's given up a grand total of 6 runs. You take a look at 2-0 record, an ERA a little above 1.5. Opponent's batting average at 155, so all the numbers are exceptional for him. And he's pitching as good a baseball as he's thrown in quite some time.
The team he'll face, the Cleveland Indians, have gotten hot at the right time late in the season once again, and they have 2 bona fide MVP candidates.
If you can hold down one of these guys, you're in good shape. Holding both of them down, that's a little impractical. As Ramirez and Lindor over the last 162 have been brilliant. The batting average very similar. The runs favor Lindor. He gets on base a little bit more. Doubles very close. Home runs almost identical, as are runs batted in. So these 2 guys really get it done. They've got a good team, but these 2 guys make it go.
Sox offensively have a lineup change today. We'll tell you exactly what it is, but Yoan Moncada is not at the top. Somebody new there. Here's a hint. Look at your screen. Sox and Indians on the way.
Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
Mini Minoso, part of a new exhibit here around the ballpark that'll be on display until Wednesday, September 26th. It's a combination of Latinos in baseball and the Negro Leagues, and it's the Negro Leagues Baseball exhibit, a traveling collection from Kansas City and the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum that shows the connection between Latinos and the Negro Leagues. And about 10 to 15% of the players in the Negro Leagues were Latinos, and you can see that exhibit throughout the next month and a half here at Guaranteed Rate Field and the Chicago Sports Depot as we tell you about the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians, brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. Francisco Lindor at the top, then Brantley and Ramirez. We told you about two of those guys. You know about Brantley, Encarnacion, Geyer, and Alonso, Gomes, Kipnis, and Rajay Davis.
The defensive setup presented by UI Health, and this is how Ricky Renteria is going to put him out there tonight with Nicky, Ryan, and Avisail left to right in the outfield. Then it's Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Jose in the infield, with Omar Narvaez getting the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Carlos Rodon, who's been red hot over the last 5 starts. He's 3-3. His ERA has shrunk to 2.94, as you can see. Throwing the ball very well, only 44 hits and 64 in the 3rd innings, and that's outstanding. So he's got Carlos Torres behind the plate. The crew chief, Paul Nauert, is at first. Tom Woodring at second, and Scott Berry is at third. So an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball. No rain in sight. A couple of wispy clouds in the sky. And we're ready to entertain the first place Cleveland Indians, a team that has taken 8 of 10 from our Sox in the early going. We get to see him a bit more before it's over. And Lindor's ready. So is Carlos. And I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, the vociferous Jason Benetti.
Steve, thank you very much. Carlos to the top of the order. Francisco Lindor, first pitch inside, and we're underway here at Guaranteed Rate Field at 7:10 tonight in the opener, as the Sox and Indians have played here in one series, and that was a split at 2 apiece. A ground ball foul from Lindor. Cleveland batting .258 as a group. That's 4th in baseball. Slugging percentage at .443. That's 3rd in baseball, and they strike out less than any other team in the majors.
All Lindor has done is hit .370 against left-handers. So if you're looking for a break, maybe facing him from the right side, well, you don't really get one. He's only hitting .273 as a left-hand hitter.
A little bit low, 3-1 from Rodon. This Indians team, back-to-back walk-off victories against the Minnesota Twins to make it an 11-game lead in the American League Central as we start play tonight. This ball popped foul, 3-2.
Well, Minnesota has divested themselves of just about all of their talent at this point, so any thought they had perhaps of catching the Indians has gone out the window because of their trades, and they've traded just about everybody away. Fernando Rodney being the latest of the trade folks. He's found another home.
He'll be shooting arrows in Oakland, as that is very close, and Carlos did not get the call. Lindor on first, and that's not where you want him.
That one was awfully close. Did not get the benefit of the call from Carlos Torres, and so it's a leadoff walk, something you just don't want to do a lot of with some of these Indian base runners.
They are tied for 2nd in baseball with 90 stolen bases. They're very aggressive. They use their speed well, and it's one of the assets they'll carry likely along with them into the playoffs.
The top part of this order is deadly, with Lindor, Brantley, Ramirez, and Encarnacion, and tonight Geyer, who usually does very well against left-handed pitchers.
If you were asking for Brandon Geyer's resume, say you were interviewing him for a job, right under his name it would say destructs left-handed pitching. That's his great asset.
I hit lefties. It's pretty much the t-shirt he'll be wearing.
Keep it down to one page.
Doesn't do much with the righties, but he does hit lefties and has hit them his entire career when they're not hitting him. which is something that he has to avoid, seeing as he is the man who gets plunked probably the most of anybody in baseball over the last 5 years. Got 6 of them this year.
Was a little looser of a delivery, 2-1 on Brantley, and that's the one thing we've noticed, and Carlos has mentioned, is that he's just been so smooth and easy and simple to the plate.
When your stuff is good and when you know it, things get a whole lot easier for you.
Right field, Avi at the warning track, where he camps to make the play for out number 1. As we say hello for the first time tonight to Chuck Garfien. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, Jason. Speaking with Don Coop before the game, he was really impressed with what Carlos Rodon did in his last start against Tampa Bay. 6 innings, no earned runs, and he did not have his best stuff, which says a lot about him developing as a pitcher. The key to be a great pitcher in this game is to keep your team in the game when you don't have your best stuff. Giolito and Lopez are learning how to do this, and maybe that was a sign of Rodon's development, what he did against Tampa in his last start.
Well, he could hardly be any better than he was, Chuck. He went 6 innings, gave up only 3 hits and no runs, but unfortunately, as so often happens, the bullpen just didn't hold it, so he's sitting there with an ERA under 3 and yet only a 3-3 record.
But those 5 walks were what really seemed to have Cooper feeling, you know what, he could have been a lot better.
And you get the leadoff walk here, but a pop-up now from Jose Ramirez, and that's a positive sign. Abreu is underneath, and 2 are away in this first inning. Especially the top 5 in this order, typically Geyer batting 5th today with what he does against left-handers, but you look at the top half of this batting order, and that's where the landmines lie for the most part.
And with Encarnacion, you don't worry about the batting average because it really doesn't matter. You're looking at the RBI, which is 81. The power numbers, pretty good, just not hitting much for average.
Fouled straight back.
Looked like he might have hurt his elbow on that swing because he came up with a grimace and pretty much grabbed at the elbow, so he might have a bit of a hyperextension there, and this is not going to do him any good.
What's he going to do when he has a home run next time, whatever it might be? He usually has that ledge for the parrot to land on, but maybe it will be a tilty ledge next time.
Well, if that is indeed a biceps problem, one thing the Indians don't need is they're going to coast to the playoffs, and they know that it's going to be Houston in that first round. They don't need anybody injured at that point.
Runners off from first, throw down to second is not in time, and the Indians have their 14th steal in 15 tries in the season series against the Sox.
That's part of the game plan. That's the reason why they're 8 of 10. He takes off, takes a look back, wants to see or hear if there's any contact. There was none, and he beats the play rather easily as this throw is on the third base side of second.
You're going to come inside and mess with that elbow a little bit?
Well, that slider inside will get the job done.
Elevated to right field. Avi has no play.
For Lindor, that was stolen base number 18. He's only been gunned down 5 times. And from the side, that's still giving him some problems. Although it's a lot better when you make solid contact.
Look at that home run since the beginning of 2012. He is the major league leader, 42 of them in 2016. That was his most recent All-Star year, his final year with Toronto. Slugging percentage is down this year. First time, if he finished this year where he is right now, it'd be the first time he was under 500 for a slugging percentage in 7 years. Cincinnati didn't really know what it had with Encarnacion when he was coming through the Reds the first couple of years in the majors.
Well, they knew that he was a slugger. They didn't know if he would be anything else. They thought he could hit some home runs, and that might be about it. So when they moved him north of the border, he just started to mature, and he was surrounded with some great bats with Toronto.
Debuted all the way back in 2005. It was June the 24th, 2005. He was in the same lineup that day. He was in third baseman, same lineup as Ken Griffey Jr., noted former White Sox. Adam Dunn was in left field for Cincinnati that day. The pitchers were Scott Ellerton and Eric Milton. That's in the Wayback Machine, huh?
Sure is. Eric Milton threw a no-hitter.
Three balls, two strikes on Encarnacion after the meeting. Lindor at second. And he's joined by Encarnacion as Rodon lets out a primal scream on the misfire.
He has been happy with a few of the pitches that he's thrown this first inning, but hopefully that rhythm will come to him as he moves along.
So 2 on, 2 out for Brandon Guyer, who in his career has an on-base plus slugging against lefties more than 220 points better than what he does against righties. Strike one. Two walks in the first inning. For a patient offense. Shakes him down inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. You saw behind the plate, Jim Thome bobblehead day is tomorrow. Sox and Indians game number 2 coming up at 6:10 tomorrow. This is the Jim Thome Bowl when these teams get together.
It's where he spent the most time between these two clubs.
Brandon Guyer, baseball magnet. Abreu, second place the last 3 years.
Well, Guyer 2 years in a row, 24 and 23. That was in 15 and 16 with Tampa Bay. That's a lot of being hit by balls in a season.
Runners are off, throw to the backside and safe. Encarnacion, part of the double steal. Lindor and Edwin Encarnacion.
Heads up play by Narvaez. You want to go after the trailer, but in this case, Encarnacion gets a tremendous jump off first base. That's not a usual jump for a trailing runner. He just realized that with the speed of Lindor, it's going to be almost impossible to get him at third base, especially with the lead that he got. So he knew he had to hustle, and that was a heads-up play by Encarnacion.
2-2. He struck him out with the slider to Guyer. The inning comes to the end with no score on the board and Shane Bieber on the way. Mitsubishi, Genesis, and Hyundai's at the best price. Go to webcars.com. Nicky at the top, second career start leading off. Sanchez, Abreu, Polka, Garcia, Narvaez, Anderson, Moncada 8th, and Lamar.
Defensive setup for the Indians put out there by Terry Francona. It's Brantley, Davis, and Geyer left to right with Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Alonso in the infield. Jan Gomes gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Shane Bieber, on for the 11th start. In 10 previous starts, he's walked a grand total of 11 men. You look at the numbers, they're pretty good, although left-handers have really hurt him. They're hitting him to the tune of 325. That's among the league's worst at this point, but he's just starting out and he's got great control.
First one, a strike, and so it gives Ricky Renteria an opportunity to put Nicky Delmonico at the top of the card. He feels like Nicky's been providing strong at bats, and with the left-hand bat at the top, then Sanchez following. Abreu will bat third, Moncada down in the 8th spot, and Ricky said, look, maybe a little pressure off of Yoan.
Look, if it works, that's good. But Bieber's going to throw a lot of strikes, so you can't take too many pitches because you're going to be down. This guy had as good a control as there was in the minor leagues, and year after year coming up, and he hasn't spent that many years in baseball. He has about, well, as good a control as anybody in the game. And that's with all 4 of his pitches, and he is a 4-pitch pitcher, has both a curve and a slider.
Breaking ball for strike 3. That's the curveball, and 1 punch out.
First curve that Nicky's going to look at, and this is a good one. Straight over the top, and right there, low and in the zone.
Coming into this season for his minor league career, Bieber in 2 years, starting in short season A ball in 2016 and then ending up in Double-A last year, he had walked 12 and struck out 183.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. His control records are just outstanding. Plus, he throws a little harder than a lot of people thought. He was thought to be just a soft tosser, but he's getting it up there 93, 94. That's not too bad when you throw everything in the zone.
Maybe not to that extreme, but that's the way Josh Tomlin was for the Indians on his way up in their system. He didn't get to the majors nearly as quickly, but the type of pitcher is the same.
Yeah, Tomlin had exceptional control. The fastball was not quite as good as Bieber's, but the control was right there with anybody.
Oh, 2. And Yolmer takes downstairs. 1 and 2. We have a special guest joining us in the top of the 2nd inning. Jenny Finch will be here. Second base, Jason Kipnis. Run number 2. Bieber, age 23. You mentioned he'll throw both types of breaking ball. The changeup just 5% of the time.
Right, but the curve and the slider pretty much interchangeable depending on how he feels on a given night. The most important thing is he can get both over the plate whenever he wants to. So you can't really guess with him as a 4-pitch pitcher, although the changeup is negligible when you look at 5%. Everything else he throws in the strike zone.
A sign that he's maybe too much in the strike zone is the batting average against the 4-seam fastball. It's .324 so far in his major league career.
What he'll learn to do is when he does get ahead, he will learn then that control is being able to spot the ball 2-3 inches off the outside corner or 2 and 3 inches off the inside corner. That's the real mark of control, not necessarily throwing a strike.
Using the whole plate when you want to use a small portion of it.
Right, and conversely, knowing when not to go on the plate, which was the key that put Greg Maddux in the Hall of Fame with 355 wins.
On the ground, up the middle, through. Abreu is a really tough out right now.
If you make any mistake with him at all, he's going to hit it hard, and more times than not, he's going to find a safe place for it to land, and he goes right back through the middle here. First hit of the ball game. He's been doing that a whole lot lately.
Last 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, he's been one of the top, most productive players in baseball.
Actually, you're hard-pressed to see him take a bad swing, which is completely the antithesis of what happened just a month ago.
You would imagine this might be a good matchup for Daniel Polka.
Depends on how good the control of Bieber really is, because if he's got good enough control to throw high fastballs, then it won't be a great matchup. If he just throws some thigh-high fastballs, then it's going to be a good matchup for Daniel.
He missed with a slider or a curveball, too.
Yep. Well, he's going to be a hook, and let's see where he gets it.
Check swing, ball in the dirt. And he did go, says Scott Berry, the third base umpire.
We'll see what Scott Berry was looking at. You can make a case for him going around.
Yeah, there's no definition of swing, and that's a swing.
That's it.
Jose at first, 2 gone. Another check swing, and he didn't go this time. 1-2. So Polka's been here 3+ months now, and since he's come up, is the home run leader if you only include games played while he's been here for the Sox.
And when you consider that he doesn't play every day because he doesn't play against a lot of the left-handers, you realize just how good he's been, especially with 3 pinch home runs. He will pull the ball, as that graphic illustrates.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Now 3-2 on Polka. Avi coming next.
Bieber does have as good a control as he's supposed to have. This will be a breaking ball. So let's see what Yan Gomes calls. That's an inside fastball.
See how this goes. Down the middle, strike 3. Inning over, no score after 1. Our special guest, Jenny Finch, coming up right after this.
Good. How are you?
Good. You were here for a panel today and a camp tomorrow and a speaking engagement. So take us through everything you're here for in this whirlwind tour.
Yes, we got to speak to about 40 young girls this morning from the Bull Sox Academy before the game. I guess it wasn't this morning. And then I have a softball camp tomorrow, and then I'll be speaking at the Empowering Women Conference for Life tomorrow.
Why is this so close to your heart? Why are events like this so important to you?
Growing up, I didn't have very many women that I could see that were involved in sport, whether it was playing or even in the front office. And now there's just so much opportunity out there, and it's such a delight to be able to share my story and my journey and the opportunities that came my way, and give thanks to the women that have created and paved the way for us, and see where the future's going.
Who are the important people for you in your life to build a gold medalist, a College World Series champion? Who are those people for you?
For me, I think it goes back to my parents. They were my backbone. I had 2 older brothers, and so I was brought up and raised around sports, and I wanted to be an LA Dodger growing up in Southern California. We had season tickets to the Dodger game, and my mom was the sports nut, which I loved the most because she was the one that bring in the radio. We had to listen to Vince Scully while we were at, in the seats of the stadium, and so much fun. And I was raised around that. So if you ask me what I want to do, I want to be an Dodger. And as I got older, I was like, wait a minute, where's the women? And then college became the goal, and then from there with the Olympics and just the opportunity, and now here I am. As Major League Baseball softball youth ambassador, which who would have ever imagined that would even be a role and a position, and just to see the opportunity for young girls. It doesn't matter, girl, boy, whatever it is, dream big and go for it.
How'd you get to U of A, and how is their program now?
U of A, well, I was smart. I wanted to be a Wildcat, and I fell in love with Coach Kendrea, the tradition of the program. Terry Francona and I were talking before the game, but I love Tucson. I love the college town, the tradition of softball, and we're good. We need to get back to Oklahoma City, back to the World Series. We've had a couple dry years, but hopefully we'll be back in the next couple years.
What was your message today to the panel and to the folks listening in?
I think most importantly, it was don't be afraid of failure. If you're failing, you're trying. So there's failure if you're going for something. So continue to go for it, learn from it, move on, brush yourself off, and keep going. And I think that was probably the biggest thing is find the motivation from the failure, the heartbreak, and the disappointment. Find the positive from it, and dream big. Here I am, a testament of that. You never know where you're going to end up.
There was a wide array of people in the panel, right, today?
There was, yes. There was a Patty Gasso coach, and then someone actually from the White Sox as well. And then these women here, we have Olympic gold medalist volleyball player. We have a Shark Tank winner. That's Patty Gasso from OU, 4-time national champion. So, yes, the conference that's going on, it's at the Donald E. Stevenson Convention Center in Rosemont this weekend. And doors are open. They can go from 9 to 5 Saturday and Sunday.
So anybody can go?
Anybody can go. I think tickets are $30. Walk up and get a ticket. You can listen to the whole day's worth of panels, speakers on all kinds of topics, in sports, out of sports.
What was the experience of the Olympics like?
Oh, my goodness. So hard to put into words. Everything and more that I hoped for. And I think, too, winning a gold your first time out, it's like, how can it not be everything and more? But I was playing with women that I was in their autograph lines. I was watching them compete, and then here I was now sharing a dugout with them, sharing the podium, getting a gold medal wrapped around my neck with them. And just to be able to represent your country and to be around the world's best athletes in so many different sizes and just religions and cultures and traditions. It was just fascinating, overwhelming.
Well, Jenny, we thank you so much. And we have one more question, which we will find the answer to in a second. Can you still throw it?
Can I still throw it? Well, I like to think I can still throw it.
Here's video evidence.
What do you think?
I think the answer is 100% yes, as always. Jenny Fitch, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Farmers Mutual Telephone Company in Jessup, Iowa. And the question I have is, are they more Hawkeye or more Cyclone in Jessup, Iowa? Because you never know in that state, but you have to pick one.
I would think so. Absolutely. Pick one, declare it, and stick with it.
So if anybody's out there watching in Jessup, Iowa, or Black Hawk County, are you more Cyclone or Hawkeye? Or just grab a bite to eat and take in the game and don't answer.
It's not a bad plan, actually. Looks like a quality dog.
Bieber strikes out Garcia. Third punch out for Shane Bieber. Southpaw making friends. I have a question.
Yes.
If Southpaw can't talk,
Well, that's an interesting premise, though. Not necessarily one
how's
that you
he
could
having
prove.
this conversation?
He's very animated.
It's almost like they're talking. He's so good at charades.
That's it. But you never know, he could be whispering.
But his mouth moves.
Well, a loud whisper.
Hopefully it's not a careless one. 1-0 on Narvaez. Omar takes low ball 2. So Abreu a base hit in the first. And that's the only base runner so far for the Sox, trying to figure out Cleveland after being swept at Progressive Field the last 2 times there. After 6 batters now, Bieber must not be an easy pickup as the ball is coming to the plate.
Well, you also realize that he does have 4 pitches. The 4th of which he doesn't use very much, but the other 3 he does, and so you can't sit and wait for 1 pitch because everything is around the plate. Then you have to be aggressive early. If you're not aggressive early, then eventually he just wipes you out with either his slider or his curveball. And knowing that he can throw them all for strikes puts you in a defensive mode to start with. Although left-handers have solved them this year.
Kipnis claims out number 2. Here is what we have coming up on our telecast, what we've cooked up for you. Musical baseball, it's the name game. A lineup shakeup, which we told you about, and Ricky Renteria's thoughts on that. Chuck will chime in too. Chuck chimes in, our new segment evidently. And then the swap meet, Kampka's in the truck and he says all items are non-refundable.
That's probably the best bet.
Evidently people are going to the swap meet and committing some sort of fraud. So he's got to have a disclaimer now. There's a strike on Anderson. Tim spent his off day with his family at the Brookfield Zoo.
I really love the zoo. That's a great place to spend the day.
The smile on your face that washed over you when the zoo was mentioned.
I love the zoos. I like all zoos.
What's your favorite part of the zoo?
The big cats.
Andres Galarraga?
Close to it, yes. Not the Venezuelan cats, the other cats.
You like the big cats, huh?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Ocelots.
Panthers.
Lynx.
Cheetahs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
Oh, yeah.
You're a dog pet guy, but you love the big cats at the zoo.
I do.
3 balls and a strike on Tim. His little one, Peyton, likes the primates.
I like the greater ape house.
3-2 on Anderson. Wildcat fan. Pat's Cat's about to get underway in the next couple weeks. Pat Fitzgerald, a big Sox fan. Three and 2 in the air and foul. couple tweeters have said that they're not in Jessup, but they're in Blackhawk County, and it's more of a Hawkeye area. And James Boson has tweeted in that it's more Hawkeye, but he's a Cyclone, so he's a rebel. He's the James Dean of Jessup. That ball smashed to left field, and Anderson rolls it all the way to the wall. 2-out double.
Bieber gets a fastball, looked to be on the inner portion of the plate, and Tim turns it around. Combs wanted that ball outside. Bieber got it inside, and it cost him a 2-base hit.
So Moncada bats in his new, at least for now, 8th spot. Bieber's first to him is downstairs. Chuck Harfine.
Yeah, before the game, Rick Renteria was saying the reason why they're moving him down in the 8th spot for now, it's for a mental break and also to give him some at-bats while trying to figure things out batting 8th. I spoke to Moncada before the game, and he says he's trying to use his hands more, hit the ball to the middle of the field. He's been working on that in the cage and in batting practice, and he's pushing himself to do the best that he can, to be the best player that he can, because he knows White Sox fans want him to be successful, and he thinks having a good game, whether it's tonight, tomorrow night, hopefully it's tonight, will be a turning point for him. And sometimes it's a game, sometimes it's a pitch that can turn things around for a guy.
That's the hope, certainly.
Well, that was the case with Abreu. We saw one at bat pretty much turn everything around for him, but Abreu is the finished product, and Yoan Moncada is far from the finished product. So he'd like to just string together some quality at bats, regardless of what happens in the at bat. Just get quality at bats and hit the ball hard, and good things will happen.
Todd Severson was saying that he's not the Moncada that he wants to be. He doesn't want him to change as a hitter, but he does need to make some adjustments, especially with 2 strikes. You got to expand the zone, maybe about a half ball or a full ball. That's what Steverson said. And even if you foul it off, just stay alive. But now he's got a 3-0 count.
Well, he's got a good object lesson hitting a couple spots ahead of him, and that's Narvaez, who manages, Chuck, to keep a lot of at-bats alive, waiting for that one pitch that the pitcher uses too much of the plate. And that's something that Yoan's not going to be the same kind of hitter as Omar because he's got more power. Just taking a look at the way Omar does it, the way he's able to stay alive on tough pitches, saving that at bat till he finally gets a mistake and then making the pitcher pay. That's the kind of hitter he's thinking about being, but he's not quite there yet.
23 years old, Yoan Moncada. .3-0 from Bieber after the Gomes visit. That's a strike. Not the type of pitch you're going to swing 3-0 on.
No, that was top of the strike zone, not one you're looking for.
Up high, ball 4. That is walk number 50, the most on the team for the Sox, and 2 on, 2 out for Lamar.
It looked to me like, although Bieber's a very young pitcher, this is just his 11th start. He pitched around Moncada.
Yep.
I mean, there's no doubt that he felt, I like the righty-righty matchup next. I'm not going to give this guy anything too good to hit. If he expands his strike zone, I'll let him swing at it, but I'm not going to throw him anything in the zone straight.
The 2-0 changeup was a signal there.
You just put him on.
1 strike on Lamar, who's 4 for 12 in his Sox tenure so far. Back up with the injury to Leori Garcia in Tampa. Breaking ball 0-2. Yeah, if he was getting wild, losing his command, he wouldn't have gone fastball down the chute, then slider in the zone.
Now, not the kind of control that he's had since he's put on a professional uniform. You're not going to have the kind of at bat he had to Moncada unless it's by design.
To third, Ramirez across the diamond with the peg on target to retire the side. Still no score after 2 on this lovely night. Throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks for Carlos Rodon so far. Cleveland has stolen 3 bases, but no runs. And it's Rajay Davis to lead off. Trying to use his speed. Instead, gravity beats him. 1 down.
It was actually a good thought. With a left-hander on the mound, he was trying to push bunt, and he was trying to bunt it right at Moncada. As long as you push it by Rodon, you're usually in good shape, except if you pop it up like that. And so the thought process was good, the execution was not. And that's what Davis had in mind, but could not execute.
Can I explain to you why I love Twitter?
Sure.
It's a short list, but here's why I love Twitter. For specificity and comment sake, for tweets like this. Mark Hope tweets, "Sorry, Jason Benetti, but the links would be found in the medium cat house at Brookfield Zoo." And he's found an article, and he's highlighted the portion of the article that says the lynx is a medium-sized cat.
See, there you go. You don't really know the size of those cats until you see them close up.
The lynx goes to the medium place?
Yep. Used to be the big cat house.
Yeah.
But not any longer. He lost his spot, lost a few pounds, and look what happens. They make you move your house.
Ball and 2 strikes on Lindor. I love our audience. Thanks for joining us tonight, wherever you may be.
Yep.
Whether it's reading through encyclopedias of kittens or just watching the game without doing such things. That one in the dirt, 2-2 on Lindor.
Meantime, we've got ourselves a very good pitching matchup between Bieber and Rodon. Both of them doing it a little differently tonight, but both with good results early.
Two and two. That ball is lit up to left field. Nicky won't get there. It rings off the wall. Lamar is a little bit late with the throw. Moncada trying to find something off the bag and couldn't do it. It's a one-out double.
First hit of the ball game, and Lindor puts a charge into it. His ball's hit awfully hard. No chance at all for Delmonico. Right off the State Farm sign. Lamar with a nice play. Makes it a whole lot closer at second base than it looked like it was going to be. As Lindor slides into second with yet another double, his 39th of the year.
These guys in wins above replacement, Ramirez and Lindor, are 2 and 4 in Major League Baseball. I mean, they're 2 of the top 5 players in the game.
When you look at both of their careers, they're both in essentially the same spot now. They're both starting on a championship baseball team. They're both doing unbelievably well. If you look at their last 162, you look at the numbers, they jump out at you. They're startling across the board. But they did it in completely different ways. Lindor was going to be a star from the time he was 12 years old. He and Javi Baez moved from Puerto Rico together, went to the academy around Orlando. You could tell he was going to be a great player, and he had stardom written all over him from the beginning. But Ramirez was completely different. He came up as a guy that nobody thought he was going to be a starter in the major leagues, let alone a star. And yet he's played himself into just an unbelievable career to this point. And again, they both find themselves in the same spot, only completely different ways to get here.
Both in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
Lindor 24, Ramirez 25. And when the Indians were scouting Jose Ramirez, they were looking up somebody else. That was the whole goal, was to go watch someone else, and then Ramirez jumped off the page at him. As Anderson avoids the screen from Lindor and makes a nice pick. Hey, see your Sox take on AL All-Stars like Mookie Betts and Mike Trout right here at Guaranteed Rate Field this summer. It's the All-Star Mini Plan. Any 3 games, excluding the Cubs series, and you get $10 in added value per game to spend throughout the park. Plans start as low as $79, and you can get your tickets at whitesox.com/all-star plan today. Now Ramirez with first base open.
Yeah, I would think here, when you take a look at the body of work for this year, you would say, okay, he's driven in 83, sitting close to 300 with 33 bombs. You got first base open, might not be a bad place to put him and deal with Encarnacion, who you walked last time.
Only got that second out because Anderson avoided the pick and roll.
Right, and take a look at Anderson, because this part of his game has really increased. He worked very hard on the backhand. That, along with Joe McEwing, he realized that that was the soft spot in his infield play. And now he's gotten better and better at it. That was a fine play, because it could very well be he could have lost track of the baseball. He didn't, and then picked it nicely.
Line to left and foul, Chuck.
Yeah, I agree with Steve, because if you look at the career stats, Rodon has great numbers against Encarnacion. Encarnacion is 0 for 9 in his career against Rodon. I'd rather face Encarnacion than Ramirez right now.
I agree.
I think that's, if you have a choice of the two, that is a wonderful choice to make.
And that's really nothing against Encarnacion. He's got big power numbers in the last half decade, but Ramirez is one of the best players in baseball. Lindor is off, and that ball's a skyrocket to left. Down the line it goes, and it is foul.
That was plenty far enough, but fortunately he got out a little too quickly, and it hooked well foul. That fan knows it's foul, and foul it was. You can see the ball the whole way. When you can see it the whole way, you know that it hooked in front of the pole, not behind it.
If the first couple innings are any indication, Francisco Lindor needs to stay away from the base pad, because he's going to steal all series long.
That's their game plan. That's a big part of it. Ramirez with a .410 on base percentage. Encarnacion .316 on base percentage.
High into the air. Carlos doesn't see it. The corners do. Jose avoids the side swipe. Near jackknife. You slam on the brakes. You avoid the wreck. Bottom 3.
Ricky,
Yeah.
why Nicky Delmonico leadoff, and what leads you to a lineup change?
It's real simple. You know, we want to make sure that Yohan is continuing to get the at-bats that he needs to continue to develop as a hitter. Hopefully this takes a little pressure off of him, you know, leading off a ball game. We put Nicky there because Nicky has a really good eye. And actually, I think I've done it with Nicky before. So it's kind of a two-pronged approach, allowing Yohan to take a breath a little bit while still, you know, helping us try to win a ball game, and Nicky, who has a pretty good eye, and allowing him to take advantage of that eye and his batsmanship into the first slot of our lineup today.
Batsmanship, I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bonus question, what was the best food item at your cookout yesterday?
Ooh, Joey made some tuna. I brought my ceviche. I think it was all good. It was all good.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's how the coaches spent the off day. A little cookout on the roof. As this ball is in the air to left in Brantley for out number 1. But back to Moncada, the idea is to not have him feel like he needs to do too much, as we talked about in a different context with Abreu about a month and a half ago.
I think as long as you get an at-bat in a major league lineup, it serves the purpose that they want out of Moncada this year. That's to get as many at-bats as they possibly can, see as many of the pitchers as they can, learn what they're going to do with him, learn how they get themselves out of trouble when they're in trouble, and how they pitch him when they're behind. I mean, everything that a pitcher can do to a hitter, they want Yohan to see, and see it as many times as possible this year, which is only going to help him for next year.
That's fouled away. It's time for Old Dominion bringing their best, and it centers on the fastball. Against the four-seamer specifically, Leori Garcia is number 1, Yolmer number 2, minimum 50 at-bats. Yolmer's seen a lot of changeups this year, but when he's seen the fastball, he's hit it well.
Well, when you start out hitting around 300, you're going to see a lot of off-speed pitches. Yolmer's now got that batting average just over 240.
Three and 1 for Bieber. Sanchez wraps it to first. Alonso for out number 2.
Sox fans, you can show your team pride with a White Sox checking and official White Sox MasterCard debit card, only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Well, Bieber's not exactly playing the four corners here. He is he's getting it and throwing it pretty good.
Well, especially helps when you throw a whole lot of strikes, although he does have the one walk that to Moncada, which it appeared to be a pitcher out.
Jose, first time up, hit a fastball up the middle into center field for one of the Sox 2 hits tonight.
Bieber was a 4th-round pick, and yet he's made it to the major leagues very quickly, and it's because of that control. The Indians decided when they picked him they would go away from those guys that are blazers. They would take a guy that understood how to pitch, and Bieber got here very quickly.
His debut was on his 23rd birthday out of Cal State Santa Barbara, school that provided Barry Zito, among others, to the major leagues. Michael Young as well, who spent 14 years in the majors. Up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two was in the zone. He didn't get the call. Abreu will take it 2-2 from the former Gaucho. Shane Bieber, Zito, Young, and Larry Dierker, the first notable name on that list.
Well, Larry Dierker could really throw it. And a former teammate of mine, Chris Spires, on that list.
What'd you think of him as a teammate?
Terrific teammate. He made the team. We both made the team as non-roster players, 1971. And he was 19 years old. He was a shortstop out of Alameda, California. Just loved to play the game, played hard, and went on to have a wonderful career as a coach. But he was a good player, had a great arm.
Yonder Alonso pressed into action again in a 1-2-3 third inning for Bieber. Top 4 on the way, no score.
White Sox pregame live, or you can stream the game on the NBC Sports app.
And by the way, tomorrow is Jim Thome night, and you can win one of those Jim Thome bobbleheads if you play Sox Math tonight.
And here is an advanced preview. You haven't seen these yet, and you won't see it now. That's how advanced this preview is.
Melky Cabrera pinch hitting for Encarnacion. And we don't have an advanced preview of exactly what happened to Encarnacion, but might have been the elbow. Are you going to pull it out of the box or what?
I'm going to try, yes. Let's see.
There are going to be styrofoam nuggets all over the place.
You would think so, but nope. I'm able to actually get it out of here and break it.
Yep.
So that our folks, because we spare no expense in promoting this particular thing.
Yeah, let me help you.
And here it is. And
nice.
You even get your own bat. Actually, it's Jim's bat.
That's the Flores bat now.
Now it's the Flores bat. So here it is. I think here it is.
Some assembly required.
Yes, and we're very good at that.
That's an awesome bobblehead.
Very nice, isn't it?
Perfect likeness of his swing.
The head is even bobbling. That's it.
There you go. Does yours do that if I...
Yes, it does.
Yeah, retaliation will come for that, folks.
Oh. Wait till I throw this bobblehead at you.
Brandon Geyer takes the ball in the dirt. And by the way, be here in the park a little bit early, or if you're going to tune in, you're out of town and you can't be here, tune in early as well, because we have the ceremony live on television, but also if you're going to be in the park, there are some there'll be some good moments.
There should be.
Yeah.
And you're here to honor a wonderful man.
It's a foul ball wide of third. You a Foley artist now? There, you're putting the doll back in the box was the loudest thing you've ever done. What is, you got bubbles now?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice. But the bubbles now have gone away.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you.
Save that. We'll get back to you with it.
Never, ever let that happen ever again. Live unpacking of bobblehead dolls. You had way too much fun doing that.
No, that was terrific. It's one of my favorite things to do tonight.
2-2 on Geyer. Rodon can't get rid of him. That one went into Chuck Garfien land. America's newest theme park.
Well, the one thing, if Carlos is going to throw him a lot of sliders in, Yomer had best watch the line.
There's a swing and a miss for strike three. It was a slider away, and out number two. As here's your Sox Math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox Math. First correct answer wins a prize off the prize shelf. Steve will unpack for you. Number of games in this series multiplied by Tim's jersey number plus Avi's jersey number minus Yolmer's jersey number. Can you beat P. Blaze 24 is the question. We'll find out. Going for speed tonight.
Yeah, this is an easy one. So I'm recusing myself.
Some people in the backyard when they were playing football would be the all-time quarterback. You're the all-time recuser.
Yes, I'm one of those.
The shift is on for Yonder Alonso. 1-1. Just 3 for his last 36 after a strikeout in the second inning. .62 pitches deep. Carlos Rodon has allowed just one hit. 2-1. On the ground into the shift, Tim Anderson for the third out. 1-2-3 inning for Rodon. A pitching duel so far.
Eloy Jimenez and the Charlotte Knights take on Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the Buffalo Bisons. Coverage begins Wednesday at 6, or you can stream the game on the NBC Sports app.
Buffalo Bisons with Vlad Guerrero Jr. as well, who's hit a couple of home runs recently in AAA. Hit a laser down the line the other day. He doesn't swing like Dad, but the result is similar.
Pretty good. Yeah, he's a good one.
Strike one to Daniel Palka. Shane Bieber, just 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Daniel fouls it off. 0-2 from Bieber, who has had his teammates play tricks on him before. Make his walk-up song into a Justin Bieber song, as you might expect.
Yeah, that could happen on occasion. Maybe from his middle infielders.
On the ground wide of first. So we were wondering exactly how many Major League players shared names, or at least last names, with famous musicians. So you have Tommy John and Elton John, not related. Steven and Fred Tyler. Jerry and Jackson Brown. But then there was a Phil Collins who played Major League Baseball. Rick James. That's strike 3. And out number 1. One of the Pointer sisters. Oh, they're actually his sisters. How about that? Aaron Pointer.
They are his sisters. The Pointer sisters.
1963 to 67, he was in the majors with the Astros.
Yes.
How about that? There was a Phil Collins.
Can I add?
Sure.
Phil Collins was from Chicago. How about that?
Which one?
The baseball player.
There's also Ray Davies of the Kinks. How about Kyle Davies?
Kyle Davies, good one. Who else you got?
I was just told Dee Snider and Corey Snider.
Good
Dee
one.
Snider from Twisted Sister.
Nice.
I'm racking my brain. I'll come up with a few more. Give me a sec.
So, Chris Kamka reminds me that in the Tommy Pham trade, the Cardinals got Genesis Cabrera.
There you go.
He wants to be your sledgehammer on the mound.
Jeez.
He's a pitcher. It's wrong.
It's true.
Avi on 2-1. And now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Grounder to third. Ramirez for out number 2. Narvaez coming up, and here is your Sox Math winner for tonight. 3 games in the series times 7 plus 26 minus 5 is 42. Riles 23 is unstoppable right now. Big Boilermaker fan. He
Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. You're picking the winner tomorrow.
I am indeed. We've got a brand new plan.
Stone Saturday on Sox Math.
I get to choose whoever I'd like.
That's right. If you have the correct answer.
For whatever reason.
But they have to have the right answer.
Oh, of course.
You don't get to pick somebody who got the wrong answer.
I can't.
Just because you like them, no.
Well, now you're changing the rules a touch.
You just thought you could pick anybody?
Sure.
You're going to pick yourself and give yourself that Tommy bobblehead you just mangled.
No, I have some gentleman who wants to know how he gets one in Australia. And I said, win Sox Math on my tweet back.
Good.
There you go.
You're part of the muscle of Sox Math. Omar takes the ball 1-1. 2 down, 4th inning. We have a special guest to join us coming up in the top of the 5th. 38th round pick of the Sox, Matt Klug from down in Georgia, who has been through so much in his young life, and the Sox drafted him in the 38th round. If you have not heard his story, join in as we chat with him. He's a very impressive young man who in 2015 lost his best friend. 2016 and 2017, back-to-back years, his parents passed away, and kept playing baseball, never thought about giving it up, and was eventually drafted by the Sox this season in the 38th round. So we'll talk to him about his journey and where he goes next in the top of the 5th. Two and 1 to Narvaez. Omar takes up and away, 3 balls and a strike. On the name fun, Daniel Harrison tweets in Alice Cooper and Don Cooper.
Could very well be. They look alike.
Chuck, you got another?
I do. You know Jim Morrison of the Doors?
Yep.
There's Jim Morrison who played for the White Sox in the 70s.
That's a good call right there.
Jim Morrison equals Jim Morrison.
Are you like trying out to be a geometry teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
You never know.
What do you think?
Get your own classroom in G building over at HF?
It was my understanding, though, there would be no math, though, tonight.
That's up and away, ball 4. There's always math, Chuck. That's the one thing you do know. Anderson will bat with 2 out and 1 on here in the 4th. As we thank you for joining us tonight. Chuck Garfine is downstairs. Steve Stone, Jason Benetti up here in the booth, and you, wherever you might be on this fireworks night at the ballpark.
Be interesting for Bieber because this is his 11th start. In not one of them has he walked more than 2 guys, and he's walked 2 already. Walked Moncada in the 2nd, just walked Omar here in the 4th.
And then goes right back to the slider for a strike. Oh, 1 on the ground. Lindor roves over to make the play, and he is so smooth at shortstop. We will play the top of the 5th after this. Matt Klug will join us when we come back. Bye.
Thanks for having
Appreciate you being up here. So, first of all, draft day. Where were you? What was it like when you got this phone call, and when did it happen?
It was just a normal day, you know, running some errands, whatever, and then my head coach from my high school, Brookwood High School in Georgia, Coach Titus Martin, he called me, and he was just having a normal conversation, checking up on me, asking how summer's going. And then, you know, he's kind of laid back and, like, low-key kind of thing, like he likes to keep secrets. So at the very end, he was like, oh, by the way, there's a scout from the White Sox named Kevin Burrell, and he wants you to give him a call. And I had no idea what it was about. And so I call him, and Kevin tells me that they're going to pick me in the 38th round.
What'd you say?
I actually, like, I literally said, I don't know what to say right now, because I was just I was speechless, because it's such like every kid dreams of that, and it's, you know, they told me it was actually happening, so it was really, really just, like, surprising to me.
What was your reaction when you hung up the phone? Like, what did you do?
I was with my brother, and I just went in with this look on my face, and he was like, what? And I told him, and we just, like, we really didn't know what to do. We were kind of speechless. So we rushed home in time to pull up the tracker and hear my name called. So it was really, really cool.
When you heard your name, how'd you feel?
I felt just, you know, this is a dream come true, really. Like, you know, everyone dreams of hearing their name called, you know, in the draft, and just it actually happened for me, and it was just really special.
1-2 from Rodon. And that is hit in the air, center field. Lamar is there, out number one. So you got to throw out the first pitch here today.
Yes.
How'd it go before we show it?
It went all right. It was a little lower than I wish, but I enjoyed it.
Well, you're an outfielder. You're
Yeah.
not supposed to throw the ball over the plate.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun down there.
How important have your siblings been, and what's life like on a day-to-day basis for you? How important have they been with everything you've been through?
I mean, we weren't super close. I mean, obviously we were, you know, siblings. We were pretty close before, but you know, it really brought us closer together, and just now we're such a close family, because we're really all each other has at this point. Our parents are both gone, so, you know, I live with my brother. Our sister's only 10 minutes away, so we hang out a lot, and just it really brought us closer together.
What's next for you?
I'm going to be attending the University of North Georgia in the fall, starting in about a week or so, and try to get my business degree there and see what happens from there.
Ideally, down the line, you look back in 20 years, what are you doing maybe 20 years from now? What's your hope?
I really want to be involved with baseball. I mean, I got to see the clubhouse and see, you know, all these scouts and guys like y'all, and, you know, all these people involved with baseball, and they're all just great people and have such a cool job. But that's really, anything with baseball, anything with sports is something I really want to be involved with.
It's a big chopper in middle infield. Moncada's going to have to hurry, and Davis is safe. As you were walking around the clubhouse, what were you thinking?
It was unreal. The facilities back there are so nice. I got to see the weight room, the training room, you know, their little hangout eating area. I mean, it was really cool to see the guys, like, their pregame routine. Like, some guys were just playing cards, or, like, you know, getting ready, and it was really cool to see, you know, how they prepare for a game like this.
By the way, if nobody's ever told you, let me be the first. Anything related to professional baseball is a wonderful way to make a living, and if you can do that, it will be really interesting for you. But get your education first, then you can worry about the other stuff.
Yeah, that's what most people have told me. You know, go to school and figure out from there what you want to do. So that's the plan.
So as all of this is happening in your life, why did you keep playing baseball? I mean, there were so many opportunities for you to say, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why'd you keep playing baseball?
It's just, you know, my you know, the people that were close to me that passed away, my parents and one of my childhood best friends, they all would have, you know, they would have wanted me to keep playing and keep going, and they wouldn't have wanted to see me stop. So I knew that's what they wanted, so I kept going.
Matt, congratulations on being drafted, and best of luck with everything you want to do.
Thank you.
We hope you get it all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Klug, 38th round pick of the White Sox. No score as we go bottom 5. Moncada, Lamar, and Delmonico coming up. Just one last thing about Matt Klug and everything he's been through. Baseball, in so many ways, is the thing that's always there for you. We are, and the Sox are. And you know that on a nightly basis, even when things are going poorly for you, baseball is here with whatever's going on in your life, and we're glad to be that. And baseball is too. If you had a bad day today, or you're having a bad day, or whatever might be happening in your life, medically or otherwise, and you have a moment where you think, this is really too hard for me to handle, think about how well-spoken that young man who just graduated high school is, how centered he is, and how much he's been through and how much he's lost. And take solace in that, if I may say so.
Yeah, it seems like a really good kid who's got things in whatever perspective that he's been left with. And he realizes that baseball is not going to be his future.
At least playing.
Right. But, you know, if he gets a degree, he'll pretty much do whatever he wants to in the game.
Wouldn't you love to see in 15 years him as a scout or an analyst or whatever it might be in the game of baseball?
Sure. I mean, that will be up to him because the sky's the limit as to what he can accomplish.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Yoan Moncada. You know, the one that we are very disappointed we missed on the musician list, at least I am, is Carlos Santana, the former Cleveland Indian.
That pretty much appeared to be a gimme.
Yeah, it's.
But we didn't get it. So who is he named after?
2-2. Hit in the air, right field side. Geyer is back at the wall, and one hops the fence. Moncada streaks to second and stops there. It's a leadoff double in the 5th.
He waited back long enough to get a straight change, and that's the ball that he hit up the gap. So after a pitch around a couple innings ago, now he gets a straight change and drives it. No chance at all for Geyer. And a promising way to start the 5th inning.
Second double for the Sox, 3rd hit for the Sox. And Ryan Lamar, the batter, with Delmonico to follow. Strike 1. Bounce out to 3rd for Lamar, his only at bat tonight. Go to 2nd. Ryan Lamar, a Michigan football fan, if there ever was one. Very excited for the season upcoming. He'd prefer a win over Ohio State at some point soon. 0-1. And the bunch shown. Throw to second is off the glove, but not far enough. As Lindor tracks it down, Moncada gets back.
Gomes just wanted to get rid of it quickly. He didn't really believe he was going to pick you on off with this. Lindor able to stop it from going into center field.
0-2. Wide of third. Cleveland Indians aerobics starting at roughly 8:35 tonight.
Got to get loose somehow. That's as good a way as any.
Pilates in the 7th.
Sure.
Hot yoga in the 9th. Two and a glance at second base. Moncada drawing the attention of Bieber. No balls, 2 strikes. Bieber to Lamar. And he struck him out. Slider away. 1 gone. Sox fans, book your group of 25 people in the CIBC Fan Box. The Fan Box is the only suite located in the lower level concourse behind Section 134. It provides the benefits of lower level sight lines with the luxury of a premium suite. For more info, 312-674-1000 or go to whitesox.com. Nicky's 0 for 2 in his new leadoff role for tonight. At Farragut High School in Tennessee, Nicky Delmonico was either the 1 or 2 hitter. He tongue-in-cheek said he was faster back then, but he was typically the leadoff guy in high school. Boy, Bieber will throw anything in any count. That was the scout.
That's what makes him as tough as he is you can't find any type of predictability because he has supreme confidence in whatever it is he's got and his ability to throw it over the plate.
Oh, and 2.
His ability to throw as many strikes led to Delmonico expanding that strike zone and going after a pitch that was a good 3-4 inches off the outside corner. But because he's around the plate with everything, you can't leave it in the hands of Carlos Torres, the umpire behind the plate.
Oh, and 2. Moncada at second, and Bieber is really preoccupied with Yoan. Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago White Sox. Into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. We give you complete authority to talk to yourself and your remote. Oh, and 2. Bieber taking a long time.
He just can't hook up on the signs with Gomes.
He struck him out. Slider down low. 6 punch outs for Bieber.
This one just disappears out of the zone. Makes it look close enough. And when the bottom falls out, it falls out of the zone, and Nicky down on strikes.
Two down for Yolmer. played in over 250 games the last 2 seasons now for the Sox. Sanchez guides it in the air, right field. Looked like Bieber might not get out of this jam, but he does. Never say never. No score. On the mound for the Sox. 5 innings so far, just a couple of hits, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts.
Been quite a pitcher's duel to this point. Not a whole lot to choose from, just 5 hits combined, 2 for the Tribe, 3 for our Sox, and that's been it. Nary a run.
Downstairs to Chuck Garfien.
And throughout Rodon's career, he's had really good numbers against the Indians. He came in with a 2.71 ERA in 12 games against the Indians, 73 strikeouts in 73 innings. And it's interesting because Chris Sale, when he was here, they had his number.
Yeah,
and his career ERA against the Indian Sales is 4.78, which is by far the worst of any American League opponent. And last year, when he was with the Red Sox, he gave up 14 runs in his 2 starts against these Cleveland Indians. But for Rodon, he feels really good against them, and he's showing it again here tonight.
Steve, you see him so much. Cleveland sees him so much. You would think that the adjustment would come, and it just has not. Why is that the case?
Nobody can really figure out why one team has a pitcher's number and why some pitchers have the team's number, but that's the way it's always been and probably the way it always will be.
To right field, and this falls for a hit. Avi trucking over to make the catch on a hop. Throw coming into second base. Save. Ramirez doubles with 1 gone.
Ramirez was thinking about 2 bases when he left the batter's box because he knew when Avi got to the ball, he would be going away from the throw. And Avi did a nice job of getting to the ball quickly, getting it back in on the money, and making it very close at second base. I mean, this is a good solid throw, and Ramirez just in under the tag. So he slices it down the line, and he's hustling out of the box. You cannot run this into a 2-base hit unless you are hustling. So both Lindor and now Ramirez have a double tonight. 30 of them this year.
You can make a really strong case for a Jose Ramirez MVP right now.
Take either one of these guys when you look at the numbers over the last 162, and you'd say pretty much flip a coin. I mean, they both play defense well. They both run well. They seemingly both hit the ball out of the ballpark, although Ramirez is hitting it out a little more frequently.
Here's a strange one for you on what Chuck was talking about. To build on that, Carlos has started against the Indians now 12 times. In his career, he's only made 3 starts against the Tigers. How can that be?
Luck of the draw.
It's strange with the schedule, with the Tigers basically taking up half of our August. Yeah. Through the night sky. Avi waves off Moncada and makes the catch. We're out number 2, and Brandon Geyer will bat.
And here's where Carlos has got to think about exactly what he wants to do with Geyer. I know he's fanned him twice, but this is a guy that's been a left-hand specialist, a specialist against left-hand pitchers for quite some time. You've got the lefty-lefty matchup with Alonso in the on-deck circle, so you don't want to get careless with Geyer in this scoreless game.
He's seen a lot of pitches tonight, Brandon Geyer, 13 in his 2 strikeouts, so he knows what Carlos has.
Yes, he does.
In the air, center field. Lamar, Rodon, and Bieber in a fight for forever. Bottom 6, no score. Seconds, Sox and Twins, 1:10 p.m. Brought to you by Securian Financial, who can help you make every moment count. Find out more at Securian.com and visit WhiteSox.com/$dogs today. Your favorite.
My favorite, indeed.
Abreu to shortstop Lindor on the one-hop soft bounce for out number 1. That was a very controlled one-hop throw.
Yeah, I mean, that's a play by design. That might look happenstance. It's not. He doesn't want to plant. He just wants to get it away quickly. The one-hop throw, and it's there in plenty of time and right on the money.
They call him Mr. Smile. That's what his Players Weekend jersey says. And he is an entertaining guy to watch. You'd rather have him on your team, but
love to have him on your team. He is really a good player and has been since he came in the league.
Players Weekend is on the way, you know.
Yes.
Coming up very soon. We have some great Players Weekend jerseys on the Sox, but Shane Bieber of the Indians has decided to be tongue-in-cheek because he hears it enough. Here's his Players Weekend jersey. It says "Not Justin."
Very nice.
The breaking ball, 1-2. It can't be an easy life when your last name is Bieber and you're not Justin. Can't be.
I don't know, a very young major league starting pitcher. I think he's got a lot of the best of it.
Oh, he does. It's easy street in terms of what he's doing with his life, but when your name is Bieber, you're going to get the jokes. Fouled away, Chuck Garfien.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Not that this happened to me, but I did grow up with someone named Richard Simmons. And
was it the guy?
Right when Richard Simmons became Richard Simmons, we were in 6th grade, 5th grade, and poor Richard Simmons, who was a great guy.
Yeah.
But he had to deal with that the rest of his life.
There's strike 3, 2 down. I feel for him. How's he doing? Is he an exercise mogul?
I haven't seen him. We had our elementary school reunion about 10 years ago.
Wait, there's such a thing as an elementary school reunion?
Well, when you go to Western Avenue School in Flossmoor, you get a big reunion. And Richard was there, and he's done quite well in his life. That's all I want to say, really.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
We're happy it didn't affect him negatively.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing right now with his life, but he seems to be well adjusted, doing fine despite having the same name as Richard Simmons.
We hope he's watching the game. Ground ball, third base. Ramirez for out number 3. Good infield defense this inning for the Indians. We are scoreless. And it is the career in the White Sox farm system of Eloy Jimenez. Just as an update, if you haven't heard, he's hitting the ball well. He's got 30 home runs in the Sox organization, 40 doubles, a .341 average, slugging .613. And there will be a time when he is here, and we will enjoy it all together.
So I suppose you think those numbers are good.
Once again, amazing sleuthing. Hercule Poirot.
I would say they're pretty good, all things considered.
That's the winner of the John Cleese lookalike contest, or maybe Poirot. Line to right field, base hit. Yonder Alonso with a single, just the 4th hit tonight for Cleveland. Carlos Rodon once again has been quite good.
Just 4 hits so far, and we're no outs into the 7th inning. Just a nice pitching matchup. Bieber and Rodon going head to head, and neither pitcher has blinked to this point.
There's UCSB's finest, Shane Bieber. Carlos Rodon out of NC State. Ball high, 1-0. Carlos played in college with Trey Turner of the Washington Nationals. A couple of guys ended up in pro baseball off that team, and in the majors, Carlos and Trey, the headliners. 2-0 on Gomes. There's a strike, 2-1.
Kind of surprising for Gomes, who's been to bat 288 times. He's only grounded into 3 double plays. That's pretty amazing for a catcher, any catcher.
To shortstop, Anderson, Moncada. There it is, double play, 6-4-3.
Make that 4.
Yep.
Very easy double play. All you got to get him to do is hit the ball on the ground, which he did.
Two down, base is empty. Jason Kipnis. It's Carry Your Child Day at the ballpark. 1-0 on Kipnis, who's 0 for 2. Second base, Moncada is there for out number 3. Stretch time, still nothing on the board. The White Sox, while you're there, enter for a chance to win tickets to a White Sox game. No purchase necessary. Ends August 20th. Visit CrownImportsContest.com for rules. Modelo, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. We have an old-fashioned pitcher's duel tonight, and it is fun to watch.
Not much to choose from at this point, as both guys are throwing it exceptionally well. Indians have 4 hits. Our Sox have 3.
One is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Narvaez. The first of 3 between the Sox and Indians in this series. Left field side, hooking toward foul territory, and not enough real estate over there.
And the pin up and going. Perez and Ramirez. Oliver Perez, left-hander on the right, and Neil Ramirez, the right-hander on the left.
This has been a much improved bullpen after the All-Star break for Cleveland. It's a sub-3 ERA. They made that trade for Hand and Simber from the Padres, and they've been quite good out of the pen since then. Golf to center field. Rajay Davis is underneath for out number 1. Let's buy some things at Kamka Swap Meet, see what we have tonight. The Swaparoo is Chris Kamka. Your pick.
I get the first pick. Now, it would be easy to pick a guy with a higher batting average, more home runs, more runs batted in,
Take him.
lower on base percentage, and lower WAR. So I'll take the guy on the right, fearing a trap.
No. See, I wanted the guy with the higher OPS plus and higher WAR.
Well, of course you would.
You
That's why
love
you can't.
RBIs.
That's why you can't get
You
them.
love RBIs. You didn't take the guy.
Nah, they're useless. You've convinced me that they're useless. So are wins.
No,
and
no, no.
Everything else you don't believe in.
They're not useless, but in terms of grading a player's performance, there are other
we
measures
throw
that are.
them all out.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're not a butcher. You throw out the sirloin, you throw out the fillet,
How do you get through
and you
the
eat
world
the other stuff.
being so allergic to nuance?
I could be allergic to nuance.
I don't think you are.
Yeah, I could be.
Ball and a strike on Anderson. You just take medication for it? How do you do it?
That's it.
1 and 2.
Plenty of that.
I don't think wins and losses are useless. That's what gets you into the playoffs. But for pitchers, when they don't go as long as they used to, there are better ways to grade a pitcher's performance, is how I feel.
As misguided as that is, yes.
How come she never got married? Misguided. 2-2 on Anderson, who doubled in the second inning, and Bieber at 105 pitches. The young right-hander facing the 7-hitter for the Sox.
We know that Terry Francona is not terribly patient with his younger pitchers, and Bieber is one of those guys.
All right, let's see who you undercut me and went with the analytics for.
Okay. We shall see.
I hate that you did that.
Well, wait a second. You might get the best of the deal.
Oh, my.
I took the Hawk.
You bought Hawk.
But that was an 87.
Yep.
For Andre Dawson, that was 68 when Hawk was the player of the year in the American League.
Oh, I bought the other Hawk. See what he did there?
I did.
There are two
Hawks, yeah.
Nice. 2 down. Nobody on. Pitching change. Moncada facing Perez when we come back. Fundraising. Bring your group out for specially priced tickets and a great experience. Never too early to start planning your summer outing. For more info, 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Time now for the Lakeside Bank call to the pen. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And Oliver Perez is the chosen one. He comes into this one on for the 30th time. He's been spectacular. 0-1, but an ERA of 153 as he's rediscovered the magic.
He's a former everything. He's a former starter. He's a former every team, it seemed like.
and was a very good starting pitcher for a time.
Yes, he was.
Before becoming a specialist out of the bullpen.
He throws over a strike. Padres, Pirates, Mets, Mariners, Diamondbacks, Astros, Nationals, Indians for Oliver Perez.
Eight strikeouts for Bieber.
It's one of the Transformers. What do you think he turns into? An adult?
A freeway sign.
You think that kid turns into a freeway sign?
He's a transformer, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
Should be able to transform into just about anything.
Two balls, two strikes on Moncada. That's called strike three. Nice pitch from Perez. To the eighth inning. We promise you at least one run tonight, but we don't know when it's coming.
And it is the night of the young Bieber. And he was awfully good tonight. 6 2/3, no runs, just 3 hits. Walked a pair, he fanned 8. And in 11 starts, he has still not walked over 2 men in any outing. He will leave with a no decision night. Doesn't diminish the effort, however. As to this point, Carlos just 1 out better.
Fun on the bench there for the Cleveland Indians. And this is a ground ball foul from Rajai Davis, who you'd like to keep off of first base, considering he is 67th all-time in baseball history with 410 stolen bases. The last 9 years, he is #1 in Major League Baseball in steals. He's 4 behind Craig Biggio all time, and then 6 behind Charlie Comiskey for 65th place. There he is. Less likely to steal in statue form.
Yeah, without that derby on either.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Davis. .93 pitches only for Carlos Rodon. Wide of first. Carlos went 4 straight starts in July of 104 pitches or more, so he's got some gas left in the tank tonight, certainly. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
That was a slider outside that Davis was going to lay off and then decided it was too close to take, so it wasn't a good swing. It was like that emergency hack way late, but he thought maybe it was in the zone, so let's see. Okay, well, it fooled me.
It's twice now we've seen Carlos use the away slider to a right-hander for strike 3.
Doesn't do that too often.
There's strike 1 with the slider to Lindor, who's 1 for 2 with a double in the third. 7 swinging strikes tonight for Rodon. That ball's back up the middle. Moncada behind the bag for out number 2.
Playing him up the middle, and that's a good place to play him because that's exactly where it went. So keeping him off base is the key. He stole 2 bases when he was on via the walk in the first inning.
So Carlos an out away from tying his career-long outing at 8 innings, which he last did on June the 24th against the A's here. He pours in a strike on Brantley. How about 2 walks in the first inning and none after that?
Well, he was very unhappy with himself and the feeling he had the first inning, but then everything settled down. A 1-2-3 second with a couple of strikeouts and a ground out, and he was pretty much right in rhythm.
He hasn't been in a 3-ball count by my count since the first inning.
No, he's thrown everything for strikes since then.
What do you have, Chuck?
Well, Don Cooper has been really impressed in how Rodon, when he kind of loses his temper a little bit, been able to harness that emotion and then stay in control. And in the first inning, he was upset with one of those calls that did not go his way. Lindor got the walk. He then walked another guy and then has been able to keep his composure, and look what he's done ever since. That was the only problem he's had this game.
It seems like it, and maybe it was a learning experience on that road trip back in July when he felt like he got squeezed twice, once in Texas, once in Houston. It was a couple starts in a row that he thought that there were some calls that didn't go his way, and his response was, first of all, to get angry, and it hurt him in Texas, and then second of all, to say, I can't do anything about it, and off we go.
No, anger is a luxury that a pitcher can't afford because it distorts your perceptions and makes you want to throw the ball harder, when in reality throwing it softer gets more people out.
That was a 25th hour decision by Brantley on that swing.
I think he hit the catcher's glove. I think that's what happened. I think he hit Narvaez's glove, and I think it's going to be E2.
That is the call. On the interference, Ramirez will get to bat.
Normally this will happen on either a slider or a breaking ball. Omar went out to try to get it, and Brantley had a swing in him and hit the glove.
Could be very costly with Ramirez, the batter. He's got a runner on now.
Brantley with 8 steals. He's been caught 3 times.
Ball 1 high.
Francisco Lindor, coming into tonight's game, was batting .341 when he faces a starting pitcher for a 3rd time. Rodon retired him. Ramirez is at .309. So both of these guys, when you go deep into a game against them, they have success against starting pitching. Let's see what Ramirez does here.
He doubled last time, so that plays into the number as Brantley draws a throw. That's the hallmark of a hitter who's owning the league, is when he gets the opportunity to see something multiple times, he makes the adjustment.
And one thing you have to bear in mind, you've got Melky Cabrera in the on-deck circle. Not Edwin Encarnacion, who started the game but hurt his elbow apparently and had to leave, and the bullpen up and going. Manaya and Cedeno.
Line foul left side. Jose Ramirez, who looks like he could lead the league in both home runs and stolen bases, a rare Quinella. He's the batter with 2 out in the 8th. Two-one. In the air, should be playable. Avi charging, still coming, slows and makes the catch for out number 3. The interference does not harm Rodon. No score. Lamar, Delmonico, Sanchez coming. Charlotte game, Jordan Guerrero 6 innings, 1 earned run, and Caleb Frere out of the bullpen, his 4th scoreless outing since coming over from the Yankees. A left-hander out of the state of Montana. So who's going to be the hero tonight? It's going to have to be a last at-bat win at this point for somebody.
Would be kind of thrilling if the Sox were able to get that done.
Oliver Perez well off the mound on that pitch as he hopped into position.
Both bullpens up and going.
Fought off, still 0-2 on Lamar. By the way, tomorrow, Jim Thome Day, and a very special 50-50 raffle Sox split coming up tomorrow. We'll tell you about it in game, but be ready to play if you're an Illinois resident. Fouled off the Thome bobblehead sign. So Sox Charity is going to guarantee a $20,000 jackpot on Jim Thome Day. WhiteSox.com/Sox split. Sales start tomorrow, August 11th, 3 p.m. Central Time.
That could be a nice prize.
A flourish on the finish, but he doesn't get strike 3.
That one doesn't miss by much.
A lot of herky-jerkiness going on.
There was some of that.
Fouled away again by Lamar. Multiple different deliveries to the plate.
Well, there was a time in Oliver's career where the stuff was really good. The stuff now is good enough. It's just not near as good as it once was, and so he uses a lot of deception to go with it, which is a change of motion. He'll do a lot of different things, including turn his back to the hitter.
Or quick pitch.
Quick pitch on occasion. You have to pull out all the stops.
It's all within the rules. I mean, that's the thing. When you grow older as a player, you realize that there are angles that you can play, right?
Well, as the stuff loses a little bit of its crispness, you have to compensate somehow. Craft and guile, it's called.
To right field on a line, Lamar with a leadoff hit here in the 8th.
Nice job of battling, staying alive. And Lamar takes it into right field, and he is the go-ahead and potential winning run.
Adam Engel's going to grab a bat and pinch bunt, we would imagine.
I would assume that he's up there to lay one down. We'll have to wait and see what Ricky wants.
So Delmonico done at 0 for 3.
Adam does lay it down. He would just as soon it be to the right side.
First. Foul, first base side and behind, 0-1. Sanchez next, who is better from the left-hand side than the right-hand side. You'd imagine Perez would stay for him in the case of a successful bunt. Capra with the signs in the third base box. Adam pops it up. Foul territory, 0-2. Keep it on. We've seen it before from the Sox.
If Ricky Renteria believes that Adam Engel can lay one down, he will keep it on.
Lamar at first after a leadoff single.
Adam has 6 sacrifices this year, so he can get it done.
Angle foul, and that is strike 3. One out, Sanchez coming up. So here's one silver lining, which there doesn't seem to be much of at this moment, I know. But if first base is occupied when Abreu comes up, you're more likely to have a chance that he is let to swing. And I know it's a very small silver lining. You'd rather have the runner at second. I get that completely. But if Sanchez does make an out here that doesn't affect Lamar, you could see the Indians pitch to Jose when, if it were same situation, runner at second, they likely wouldn't.
That's true. Although I'd like to have seen a successful sacrifice bunt.
And I completely, that's part of my logic here, is that yes, you'd rather have that if you're going to go ahead and bunt. But you'd also rather have in this inning Abreu swing than not.
That part of it's true.
Oh, and 2. Into the glove for strike 3 and 2 down in the inning. So Abreu will bat.
Won't bat against Perez, however.
Terry Francona will go deeper into the bullpen. We saw Ramirez warming up. 2 strikeouts for Oliver Perez. The Indians deeper into the pen. Bottom 8 continues when we come back. Exclusive content and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Our Lakeside bank call to the pen is Neil Ramirez. Comes into this with a man at first base, 2 outs, on for the 33rd time. ERA up over 4. He's 0-1. There you look at the rest of the numbers with 33 strikeouts and 28 and a third. Left-handers have done nothing with him, but he'll be facing Jose from the right side.
A lot of sliders. 43% slider for Ramirez this year. There it is for strike 1. Cleveland in the 9th will have Melky, Brandon Guyer, and Yonder Alonso. As Carlos Rodon has tied his career long through 8 innings of scoreless ball tonight. Lamar runs. Abreu hits it high in the air. Left center field. Davis has a play, and that will do it. To the 9th we go. Zeros.
And he'll face the middle of the Indians order. Melky Cabrera leading it off. There you look at the numbers on for the 25th time. He's 2-0. His ERA, 3.38. So Adam Engel stays in the game play center. That will shift Lamar over to left.
And Cedeno gets Melky Cabrera, Brandon Geyer, and Yonder Alonso in the 9th. Or maybe just Melky. We'll see if he's even in to face Geyer. Cabrera in for the injured Edwin Encarnacion, whose elbow was sore after a swing in the first inning. He walked, stole a base, and then came out in the 4th inning for his next at bat as the DH tonight. Curveball misses, 2-0. Carlos Rodon, 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Last 6 starts, his ERA is 1.27. 5th time he's gone 8 in a start in his career. There's a strike. They do have some speed on the bench, so if Melky Cabrera were to walk here, I wonder if he would stay or if they go with a pinch runner and try and put that running game into play. Cutter down and in, 3-2.
Fortunately, Melky expanded his strike zone because that was ball 4.
Sharp movement.
It was.
Three and 2. Cutter down low. Leadoff walk for Melky Cabrera. And they will pinch run for Melky. Greg Allen.
And here comes Ricky. He's going to want to go to the bullpen. He's going to want, I think he's going to want Manaya.
See if that leads Terry Francona to make an adjustment as well. Cedeno comes out. Leadoff walk for Melky. Greg Allen pinch runs. Juan Manaya out of the bullpen. No score in the 9th when we come back. Vacation. Stay 7 nights at the all-inclusive Iberostar Paraíso Lindo in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. Private welcome party, autograph session, food, drink, special group activities with your White Sox hosts. Visit applevacations.com/White Sox to book your trip today.
Our Lakeside Bank call to the pen. It is Juan Manaya. He inherits Melky at first base. On for the 31st time. He's 1-2 ERA of 3.60.
Brandon Geyer, the batter, he stays with Allen at first and nobody out. Allen draws a throw, as you might expect.
7 out of 7 in stolen bases. So one of the things he can do, as well as go get him in the outfield, is steal.
Another throw to first. We've got Alonso coming next. And he's a left-hander, so this may be one batter. Matchup-wise for Ricky Renteria, we'll see. Allen doesn't run. Manaya throws a strike.
One of the things you've got to be very careful of, and that's with Geyer, is you don't want to throw him too many inside fastballs because he's going to lean in the way of one of them.
He's got a history of doing that.
He will do that when it means getting the potential winning run into scoring position.
That one leaked over the middle of the plate. It's 0-2. Terry Francona has no more left-handed bats on the bench. He's used the switch hitter Allen as a pinch runner and the switch hitter Melky Cabrera as a replacement for the injured Encarnacion.
Well, it hasn't been lost on Terry Francona that Manaya's wipeout pitch is that splitter. He's thrown 7 wild pitches this year, but a lot of the splitters wind up in the dirt. Although this one will be a fastball.
Pitch out high and nothing on. Yonder Alonso next. Jace Fry warming up possibly just for him. On the ground left side, Sanchez second one, and that's all they'll get. Geyer to first. He is less of a speed threat than Allen, so the Sox win there and take the first out.
Good solid play by Yolmer as he pours it across the second. You got to cut down the lead runner, especially with the speed of Allen. He's able to do that.
And it won't be Manaya to face Alonso. Jace Fry will come into the game. Ricky Renteria playing the matchups here in the 9th. Fry replacing Manaya, who got the one out he was summoned for. We'll step aside and come back, tell you about Lakeside Bank when we return. Bauer, who is Cy Young possible this year.
He's had just a wonderful year with an ERA of 2.25, 206 strikeouts. What a year it's been with opponents' batting average just 209. So it's Lakeside Bank called to the pen, and it is Jace Fry. Brought in to face Alonso. Then we'll see about Gomes.
Lefty Yonder Alonso is a much better hitter against right-handed pitching. Alonso on base plus slugging, 805 against righties, 643 against lefties. To right field, Avi charges and can't make the play. Alonso with a single.
Both of his hits tonight have come against the left-handers. It was Rodon in the 7th, and now Jace Fry here in the 9th. He gets a hole in one, looks like a slider, and takes it into right field. So now Don Cooper coming out to talk with Jace Fry and how he wants him to try to get out Yan Gomes.
Double play last time for Gomes. That'd be nice here.
Monday on NBC Sports Chicago, we go one-on-one with legendary sports writer Peter Gammons. Why he wants to see a Cubs-White Sox World Series and the lesson he learned as a journalist that made him love baseball even more. Watch Inside Look presented by Cadillac Monday at 11 or stream live on NBC Sports app.
One of the great caretakers of baseball as a writer, Peter Gammons. Also a talented musician.
Can do both of those things.
Two on, one out. And a ball to Yan Gomes. Sox in the home 9th will have Polka, Garcia, and Narvaez coming up. Flipped foul, 1-1. Jace Fry, who last year threw a cutter, this year that's kind of morphed into a slider. He's getting more movement from it. And when he threw it in spring training, some guys said, "What is that?" And he said, "A cutter." And they said, "You can't call it a cutter. It moves too much." Although our pitch cast says cutter. Sometimes it does spin up there like a cutter, but it has more movement than your typical cutter. One and two on Gomes. The dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Nice stop by Omar, keeping runners exactly where he found them.
Geyer at second, Alonso at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Kipnis next.
Tyler Danish loosening in the pen. Don Cooper wants to know if he's ready yet.
Sox are going backward through the meals with Fry, then Danish. 2-2. Fouled away third base side. Cedeno started the inning. Minaya came in for 1 batter, then Fry for the single on Alonso, and then Gomes against Fry, batter number 2 for Jace. Tipped off the glove. as pardon me, as you manage the cough button, we have that for that sort of situation, but
Yes.
sometimes it comes in an alarming way. As you manage this type of situation, you can't really be thinking about extra innings, although they have to be in the back of your mind as well. You got to get these outs first before that can appear on your radar.
Yeah, that's what Ricky is trying to do here. He's trying to use who he can to get out of this inning, turn it over to his offense, and then worry about the 10th if the 10th gets here.
Two balls, two strikes. Fry to Gomes. Now 3-2.
Jason Kipnis in the on-deck circle.
Three balls, two strikes. 2 on, 1 out. Fry for Gomes. Fouled away. Yan Gomes will see another pitch in this sequence. It'll be number 10. Double figure pitches in the sequence to Gomes. This is number 11 on the way. He struck him out. 2 gone.
Reached back for a fastball and threw it right by him. It was in the zone. And he did get him. Big out.
Yeah. By that much. Still not completely out of it. Kipnis 0 for 3. Strike 1 with 2 on and 2 out. Alonso is single. Geyer the fielder's choice after the walk from Melky Cabrera. 0-1. Now 0-2. What's your call here?
Throw him a slider and don't worry about the rest of the at-bat.
Oh, and 2. In the air, left-hand side. Anderson, Sanchez, Yolmer for out number 3. Jace Fry wriggles out of trouble. Bottom 9, a walk-off in the cards. Let's see.
courtesy of Jace Fry. Gets a big strikeout, keeping runners at first and second, but now there's 2 outs, and then the pop-up by Kipnis. Out of the inning, still no score. Yolmer does the honors, and that's that. So a chance to walk it off against Neil Ramirez here in the 9th.
Can the Sox create a fire? With nothing, not even a spark so far through 8.5 for either team. Polka. Foul just to our left into the Indians TV booth. That was a screamer.
Rick Manning best be out of the way of that one, along with Matt Underwood. They are the television team of the Tribe.
0-1. Chuck.
A Sunday in Tampa, Daniel Polka was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, then homered in the 9th. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He's here in the 9th, and something tells me if he gets anything, he's going to try and hit it far.
1-1. That was a slider, and it was a strike. 1-2. He told you after the game the other day that he was 100% looking home run. And that is probably the mindset here.
He actually doesn't want to try to hit it far. It's more like he just wants to hit it hard. And when he hits it hard, then it goes far.
It does! Deep to left field! Pollock smash for the win!
Watching him go the opposite field is a rarity, but when he gets them, they stay got. And that was a rocket out of the park.
Daniel Polka once again. He walks it off for the only run tonight.
The strength he has is really amazing. That was a high fastball away. All he did was put the bat on the ball, and it shot out of the ballpark. Our Ford home run replay, Neil Ramirez throws a high fastball. It's not a strike. This ball is up and away out of the strike zone and gone.
What an awesome find he has been in 2018.
That's his 18th home run. A lot of them monumental home runs. When you get a guy as dangerous as Daniel Polka, he's got to find some way into the lineup. And it doesn't matter if he didn't do anything before the fact. He doesn't really have to do anything before the fact.
No, he does. I mean, he just hits the ball hard. That one was just over 100 miles an hour, which is on the very low side for him. But, I mean, he's just your everyday random guy. You talk to him, he likes to have fun. He was at the beach during the off day. Like, he's just a dude. He's a dude that hits it real hard.
Well, he does hit it really hard, and it's really nice to have a guy that can end the ball game with one swing of the bat and can do it consistently. I mean, if he puts the bat on the ball, it's going to find a place to stay that usually is out of the field of play.
Yeah, it's ringing around the left field stand somewhere. He's downstairs with Chuck.
All right, so in Tampa, you were 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. What'd you do in the 9th?
Homer.
0 for 3 with 3 Ks. What did you do here tonight?
Homer.
You said before the game, you're not trying to hit the ball far. You're trying to just hit the ball hard. Is that what you were trying to do there?
Yeah. Yeah, I just went back to my old routine and, kind of forgot the first 8/9 of the game. And, made 1/9 of the game count.
What were you doing? You have the time being a DH. You have the time to be in the cage, watching video. Does that help you in the later innings?
Yeah, definitely. Tonight I was just kind of going crazy in the dugout. Not the best start to homestand, but worked out. I'm really tired, Chuck.
I know you're tired. One last question. Did you see what Yolmer did?
Yeah, he got Cappy, right?
Yeah, instead of dousing you, He got the third base coach, Nick Capra, so he took one for the team, I guess.
Well, Cappy didn't really do anything tonight until the 9th inning, so you know we had to have him in the game somehow.
Yeah, Capra waved you home. Hey, congrats on the win. Big home run. There he is, Daniel Palka.
Everybody's going to get a Gatorade bath, evidently, this year from Yolmer Sanchez. But Daniel Palka, who has become a fan favorite here in Chicago, a lot of people have compared him to Dan Pasqua, not just because of the name, but because of the style of play. He's a guy you can really embrace.
Well, he's a guy that you love to see in the lineup because it doesn't matter what he does all game. He can win one for you late by hitting the ball out of the ballpark. That's his 18th home run of the year. Most of them been big home runs. He doesn't hit inconsequential home runs. So let's take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. It's 101.7 miles an hour on the exit velocity. And launch angle, 24 degrees. And so that was that. A 1-0 ball game. It couldn't have ended any more exciting. Couldn't ended any better. So get your rest.
Got to after that exciting win. Fireworks going off. Jeff Chanel hit the button. And away we go for our producer, Todd Benjaminson, our director, Jim Angio, our associate producer, Chris Kampka, our tech manager, Mark Harper, our executive producer, Greg Bowman, and for that baseball that got stung, plus our entire NBC Sports crew, Chuck Carfine downstairs, Steve Stone, Jason Benetti, so long from Guaranteed Rate Field. Subaru White Sox postgame live is next, and you've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago. Good night.